Okay, time for lighting. So I'm gonna put LED strips across that board, across this board, and then whatever's left is gonna go right here and right there. The LEDs I got are from superbrightleds.com. Here's the LEDs. Here's these really cool, they're like C-channel mounts. I just have to cut them to size. And then they even have a little diffuser. And here's the end caps where the wires can come through. Here's an end cap that's solid. This is the switch that I'm going to use. It's a dimmer switch. Probably gonna mount it over here somewhere. So as you walk in, you can turn on the LEDs. So they also have a diffuser that plugs right into it. I wanted to go with these because look how thin those are. So you're gonna get a bunch of light without losing headspace. All right, so this is about 5 feet from there to there. So I'm just gonna cut 2 sections 5 feet, and then the sections that are left are going to go down there. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so the best thing that I found to cut it was a Dremel with a cutoff wheel. Maybe if you had a bandsaw handy, that would work. So I just used a Dremel so it didn't bend it up like any kind of cutters or clippers would do. And then I touched up the edges with a black Sharpie. And then right here, I'm just pre-drilling some holes. I'm not really worried about measuring them out. I'm just kind of spacing them out every like 8 to 10 inches. They're gonna be completely covered by the LED strips. And then here, luckily there was plenty left for these 2 small sections over the shelves after I cut the 2 5-foot sections, so pretty happy about that. And I'm using some clamps, those wood clamps that I've been using this whole time. It definitely helps hold it up there as you're trying to screw it in. So I'm just trying to line it up in the center of the board. All right, they're all cut, drilled. I did countersink them a bit. They do poke out in that channel a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. They do actually sell something that holds this, but it would have extended this whole thing down. And I kind of, if I can get this to work, I like the really smooth, clean look. So the LEDs, which there's all kinds of like color temperatures you can pick there. But so the LEDs are going to stick in here. And they have a 3M back, so they stick in there. And see, I think it'll just stick right over that screw a little bit, and it won't even matter. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll bring it back. All right, this part was fairly simple. You're just basically pulling it out, seeing how long you need, and then cutting it. Although there is specific spots that you can cut on this tape, and it has like these little scissor marks. You can only cut there, and then once you start cutting, you're gonna need a soldering iron to solder on new wire. So with this part, you're gonna need a soldering iron to put those wires on, and I definitely recommend doing that before you hang them up. So just get the length, make sure it's right, and then solder on, and then peel it off and stick it on. All right, so the diffuser piece of plastic that goes over the LEDs after you stick them in, that piece you can also cut with a Dremel, or you can cut it with a razor blade. I have this tool that has like a flat edge on one side and a razor blade on the other side. I'll try to put a picture of it here. I definitely like using that, but it basically, as soon as you cut the length, it just snaps right in and it fits perfectly. Okay, that seemed like it took forever. Eventually I will tidy up all the wires. I use these inline adapters to come in, tied it up here, inline adapter. So I think I explained this before, but so I had to run a line all the way from there, all the way around, all the way to the switch, and then from the switch, tying into that light, tying into this light, tying into this light, tying into that light. It could have been physically easier to put a switch back here, but you would have had to walk all the way through the trailer to get to it. But now, here we go. So I think this is pretty sweet. So yes, it does dim. It lights it up perfectly. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's super cool. Here's what we decided to buy: the Curt Rebellion XD adjustable ball mount. So how it adjusts right here should help us on that leveling issue. Also, this dampens jerking, jarring, and bumps from potholes, makes it a smoother towing. I've also heard that it helps out the drivetrain a bit. Let's crack it open. Comes pretty well packed. Here's the pins that go into here. Does not come with a pin for your car. Here is where you can put your own ball. I did get a lock for the coupler and then a lock for the hitch itself. So this lock right here locks these in, and then this lock is actually for your car, so it's a complete set. And then I did buy the dual ball hitch. This seemed like a cleaner look. It was finished, it's welded together. It's hard to get out of the packaging. And this also has a rubber mount in here. So basically what happens is when you're towing, so this is the hinge right here, so when you hit a bump and then your trailer hits a bump, this cushions along with this a little bit, so it should add for a smoother ride, and we have the adjustability of keeping it level. Also, this thing is extremely heavy. I think it's maybe 50 pounds. Okay, we got the trailer and the car pretty well lined up. I installed this part of the hitch. It does sort of rub right here. I was gonna see once I got some weight on the bottom right here if it still rubs. This does come off, so I might take that off. So basically what we're gonna do is this is gonna go what looks like the lowest setting, which I'm kind of a little bit more excited about, because then that means it's gonna have a little bit more leverage. It should have a little bit more give to it. So we're gonna put in the top one and then put it on the trailer, and then the weight will help us to get to the bottom one because there's a rubber grommet on the inside. All right, so now that we got the trailer lined up, here is the 2 5/16. Kind of looks like it needs to be at the bottom. You might have to hit it to get it to go through. Okay, now that that's on there, you can see that the bottom hole is not lined up, but we're going to use the weight of the trailer to get that to go down. So we're going to start lowering the trailer. There we go. And you'll start to see that hole on the bottom start to line up. The more weight is being put on it. There you go, easy as that. And you can either use the pins that they have, or there's this little beauty right here. Now those are locked in. What it comes with are these pins, not quite as secure. All right, so now that that's on, you gotta make sure we lock that in there. And then here's the other Curt security device, which screws in. And then you take the key out. Now, so that's locked, this is locked, and then it's locked to the car. Not too bad. Okay, so I got to replace the trailer brake battery. Here's the old one, here's the new one. As you can see, the new one got about 12.6 volts. The old one, not even a full volt. So I just have to get this roadworthy, because we're thinking about putting like a tongue box right here, but we'll do that in the off season. So I just need to get this roadworthy. So what I got to do is get these screws back in, maybe with a bigger washer on it. And then the lid is broken, so I just have to put the I'm gonna put tie wraps around it to tie the lid down. This is actually used for your trailer brakes. And if everything's disconnected like this and you're not sure which one's positive or negative, the negative wire is always the one that is going to the frame of the vehicle. So right there, that's the white wire, so this would be the negative, so just plug the negative in, good to go. Okay, I don't think I explained that well. This is the battery that engages your brakes in case your trailer comes flying off of your car. I looked into just leaving this off, but apparently you need to have it on. So I'm just replacing the battery so that this whole system works, and eventually I hope to replace it. All right, it's all done. I think the tire wraps look pretty darn good. So that's a pretty easy fix. So you can see right there, the screws that pulled through, I just put a big washer around them to distribute the pushing power so it didn't push through again. There was only one screw on this side, but now it's pretty firm. When you grab onto it, you can shake the whole trailer, so that's good. So now this part's roadworthy. All right, so in the next video, we finally take the trailer off on its maiden voyage. As you can see, we're in the middle of nowhere, Colorado. That's where our property's at. There's no power, there's no water, there's no nothing here. And I believe it's at about 9,000 feet of elevation, so it's up pretty high. As you can see, we overpacked, but I didn't want to be in the middle of nowhere and need something because the closest town is a half hour away and the closest real town is about an hour and a half away. We're also very excited to show you the tent we got. It's a Lotus Belt tent. I think this tent, all said and done with the mat and all the rope and all the ribbing, I think it weighs somewhere close to like 300 pounds. And that was quite the chore setting up because it was pretty windy, but we got it up and we had a lot of fun. It was a little colder than we were hoping, but you'll see in the next video all the struggles we went through and how everything ended up working out on the trailer.